Hello everyone, welcome back to Base Damage. I hope you are all doing well. Today I am so excited for this. We got Persona 4 and Persona 5 in English Weiss a long time ago. But there's only like a handful of references to like the Persona 3 characters in Persona 4 because there was like a little bit of overlap with like Ultimax Arena or something. Anyway, it's the point of we never truly got the Persona 3 cards in JP over here. To be fair, also, there's like one of the like level zeros, like Akinari or something, who is banned in JP, so I can understand why they wouldn't want to bring him over. It lets you like discard cards from your opponent's hand out of this. Anyway, it's the point of we haven't gotten Persona 3 until they announced the premium booster for Persona 3 Reload. One, I've been playing the game a whole bunch and I love it. I beat the heck out of the very first game. And Reload has just lived up to it. To me, like, as a fan of the original, has been absolutely amazing. So I was super hyped when they said, you're also getting this in English. I'm like, okay, cool. Just take my money, Bushi. Just take my money. But yeah, no, I do not like the fact that it's a premium booster. I wish that it was a full booster, but whatever. We take what we can get, I guess. Whatever. But there is a couple things I wanted to point out about the premium booster and some rules around it before we get into the first impressions. So if you go over here onto the English Weiss site, so this is official on their site. So obviously we're getting it March 14th. I'm going to try to have this out at a decent time. If you scroll down a little bit, you do get some signed cards from the creators of P3 Reload, which is really cool. But this particular line right here for Neo Standard, the cards in this premium booster may be used together with cards that have card numbers beginning with P4 and P5. So, depending on trait lock, there are cards that can be used from Persona 4 and Persona 5 with the Reload cards. Now, this isn't going to matter for a whole bunch of stuff because a lot of P5 was limited to like the Thief trait. So you probably can find some maybe generic ones in there that are pretty good. But something that we've learned from the anniversary sets is the fact of 9 times out of 10, event cards don't give a fuck. And this is one of them from the Persona 4 set. So 2 particular cards that I noticed have gone up in price from Persona 4 was Magi's Tarot Reading, which is a level 2, 3-cost blue backup event. Your opponent may choose one of your characters, return that character to your hand, choose one of your opponent's characters, and rest it. You get a very weird rest counter, and if your opponent bounces something back to your hand, you could probably just replay it. It doesn't really matter. A lot of times for the rest counters like this, they require you to have I mean, you're already paying like an egregious cost, but some of these are like, oh, hey, you have to have like a full field of characters or something. This doesn't matter. Like, you could just do this and rest whatever your opponent has. So the fact that they have a rest counter from Persona 4 that can be used is kind of nuts. So it says down there, I know it's kind of blurry and it's hard to see, but it says P4. So says it right there. Anyway, we have one more from Persona 4, and that is Junes, as a level 2 0-cost yellow event. Search your deck for up to one character with Junes or the Junes trait, which is like almost everyone in P4, or protagonist in its card name. Reveal it to your opponent, put it in your hand. So something that they, even though there are like unofficial names for each of the main characters that you, the player, play as, there are unofficial names like Yu Narukami for the P4 protagonist and whatnot. There are a lot of them across 3, 4, and 5 will just say protagonist. And it's very true for like Joker and everything. It'll say protagonist as Joker for some of their crazy cards. So this still works for the main character of P3 because they're all protagonist. So. And this is specifically, I'll go back to it, where it says the quotation mark, so it's protagonist in name. I see the kanji up here. We're going to try to match this really quickly. That looks correct. That looks like the kanji matches. It matters. So these two cards have gone up in price a little bit on TCG Player, about $3 to $4 a piece. So get them while you can. But we are going to hop into the first impressions and go ahead and just... let's just enjoy this. Let's just enjoy life for a second here. All right, so we have 60 cards in the premium booster. Ryoji already off the bat. Just all right. So obviously with the premium booster, they're all the normal rarity, but then you're gonna have some shiny variants and some SPs, I believe, like this. Like this just looks sick. I absolutely love this. The Aegis one is also just so cool. So as long as they stick to the, and I believe they haven't changed anything. It still should be those like signatures from the creators of the game, not so much the voice actors. But enough yapping, let's get into it. So 00500 transfer student Ryoji Mochizuki has two particular alarm effects. If this card is on top of your clock at the start of your main phase, you can draw a card and discard a card, okay? If this is on top of your clock, if you have 3 or more reload, magic, or weapon characters at the start of your climax phase, choose one of your characters, it gets 2k power. So already off the bat, we have 3 traits, it looks like. Reload, magic, and weapon. I'm fairly certain everybody in this is going to fall under that, but I'm stating this openly for the whole rule before. I haven't checked the P4 and P5 sets. Like I said, I know Thief was very predominant with P4. Oh, no, sorry, not P4, with Persona 5, because Joker and everybody. But if there are, like, magic and weapon trait overlap with some effects, it's stuff that could be used. So, just to keep in mind. Then we have C's, the Special Extracurricular Execution Squad protagonist. So 001K, when this is placed on stage from hand, look at 2 cards from the top of your deck, put them back in any order. We get the Knowledge. When this attacks, if you have 1 or less characters, you can mill 1. If that card is a level 0 or lower character, place it on stage in any back row slot. So I've used effects like this in the past, and there was actually several cards like this. I remember there was like a Haru in P5 that did this or something. It was either a Haru or a Makoto. I don't remember. But I remember seeing this effect before. We got C's Aegis. We have 001K. Placed on stage from hand, choose a reload, magic, or weapon. We're just going to stick with reload because I'm fairly certain there's not really going to be much overlap. I have to repeat 3 traits each time. That character gains 1500 power. On attack, give one of your reload characters 1500 power. So just all around buffing, you can give a total of 3k with this. Okay. I almost wonder if there's going to be any like a really heavy, like, I don't think there's going to be any reverse characters or anything of that nature. So, all right. So we also don't have a picture for this one, for number 4. So, oh, hell if I know. Ready for battle protagonist, auto. Let's see. When this is placed on stage from hand, discard a reload, draw a card. Okay. When this is placed on stage from your hand, pay 1, put the top card of your deck into your clock, search your deck for up to 1 level 1 or lower character. This is the Riki one. On top of being able to just, drop and draw. So this has just all the utility. Oh, this is probably going to be very expensive. All right. This is a good card. This is a good card, though. Arcana Chariot Aegis is a 002K. If this is in the front row center slot, this gets +1 soul. And on play, pay 1, pitch 1, search your deck for a reload character. So it basically matches... oh, what was it? There was like a Bang Dream drop searcher that was like if it's in the front row center slot, it gets a soul. Then we have Mechanical Girl Aegis. I'm so hyped for this. Let's see, 002K. During your turn, your level 1 or higher characters in front of this get 500 power. Sorry. Brainstorm, pay 1, rest this, mill 4 for each climax. Salvage back a reload character from waiting room. Okay, cool. And the SP for that is just so pretty. But the art for that in general, even for the regular one, is very, very nice. So... it's just with the premium boosters, they don't really do alternate art, so we got more SPs coming up. All right, 1-0 backup. So it's a Aegis. It's a free 2k backup. Okay, so very simple there. Power of the Wild protagonist. Basically, reason it says that is because the full Arcana is like the wild card. So. It's 104k. When this is placed on stage from hand, if you have another reload, this gains 2k. On attack, if the character across from this is level 2, this gets +6k power. That's really cool, actually. So level 2 Slayer, and just That art is just sick. Like, that is so cool. Anyway. You know, I guess since they weren't able to make a full set, if they allotted more of that money to the artist, you know, y'all cooked. Thank you. 1045. When this is placed on stage from hand, look at the top card of your deck, put it on top or bottom of your deck. Interesting. Also, on play, it gets a power buff equal to the number of your reload characters times 500. Looks like it counts itself, so plus 25 max is a 7k for the turn. Okay. And then you get a little bit of knowledge, so, which I guess does matter because I think there's choice in here. So, let's see. 1-0. We have the first climax combo of the set. Anti-Shadow Suppression Weapon Aegis. This is a 1045 reload mecha weapon. So, weapon trait, overlap, just saying. When this is placed on stage from hand, this gets... I'll finish this card and then I'll make a comment. When this is placed on stage from hand, this turn it gets plus X power. X is equals to the number of your reload characters times 500. So counts herself. Is also going to be like a 7k. Okay, so it does combo with a choice, so we do have choice in the deck. On attack, so it'll be 8k. If you have another reload, choose one of your characters. It gets an auto. When this character's battle opponent is reversed, search your deck for a reload character, add it to hand. So the buffing effect from like the Aegis before matters. I just realized like they count magic as like the whole summoning thing for the persona, which I guess fits. I don't know. I guess you're also like casting magic and everything, like the fire spells, the ice spells, and all that jazz. Final battle protagonist. We also don't have art for this one. Interesting. It's a 2-1. When this is placed on stage from hand in mill 3, if there's a climax amongst them, choose one of your opponent's level 3 or lower front row characters, send it to waiting room. And then when this is reversed, if the battle opponent, if their level is higher than your opponent's level, you can send that character to stock and then send the bottom card of your opponent's stock to the waiting room. So just removal all day, every day. Very nice. We have a backup Elizabeth, 2500 backup, and when you use this card's backup, you can pay 2 to shuffle all cards from your waiting room back into your deck. Very nice. Mysterious Boy Feroz is a 2/6k. It's a assist, I'm assuming in front, plus 2k to level 3 or higher characters in front of him, and a bond to protagonist and Thanatos reload. Where is, oh, wait, hold on, which one is number 16? So that is this one coming up, the cover art. Okay, that's very nice. Okay. So it bonds with that one, but we do have another one. Okay, so this protagonist also works with that. Okay, so it's a 2/175. When this is placed on stage from hand, you can discard a reload, draw a card. During your climax phase, when the choice trigger, number 19, is placed on your climax area, you can send this standing character to memory. If you do, summon the 3/2 protagonist and Thanatos that we just looked at, from hand to this to the stage in this card's former slot. Okay. It's a 3/2 9k Aegis and Palladion reload. If you have 5 or less cards in your deck, she gets minus a level in hand. Really haven't seen that early play condition for a minute, so that's really cool. For each of your other reload characters, she gets 500, so she'll be at 11, and she heals 1 on play. So early play healer, always nice. And it's Aegis, we can't go wrong there. So the protagonist that has a bond and can be early played. Let's see. So 3/2 10k protagonist and Thanatos reload. On play, heal 1, straight up, plain and simple. On attack, if you have the choice trigger in your climax area and all of your characters are reload, choose one of the following 2 effects and resolve it. Okay, so this is interesting because where I said you could have overlap, this does not let you have overlap. You can't play anything from P4 and P5 because none of them are going to have reload trait. So you have a little bit of a reload lock, if that makes sense. But you get to pick one of the following 2 effects and resolve it. Either choose a reload character in waiting room, and one of your opponent's characters, return them to hand. So you get a card back from waiting room to hand, and you bounce back one of your opponent's characters. Then put up to 1 card from the top of your deck into your stock. So this is already going to be interesting because you could get rid of cards like the Yuji, the Torch Yuji in the back row, so that you can do your burn effects with like multiple copies of this. You could get rid of hexproof characters like the You can't get rid of the hexproof characters themselves, but I was thinking the Shuna from Slime that gives hexproof. So sorry, flub of words on my part there. The second option is you can discard a reload to burn for 2, which is not too terrible. It's not the craziest effect in the world. But being able to go like tri-field this, maybe use this, make your opponent bounce back a character. Sure, they could just play it again the next turn. So if they survive, you do have to be mindful of that. But I guess you could just attack again with the climax combo and bounce it back again. I don't know. Just as long as you can keep bouncing it back, it doesn't fucking matter. I guess that's more useful for the early, for like if you're able to early play this Protag and Thanatos. But at the same time, I'm just trying to think of like other possible situations. At the same time, just be able to like tri-field this, heal 3 basically from playing 3 of them. Use this, bounce back the 1 problem card that's giving you a tough time, and the other 2 can burn. So you still get several instances of damage. Okay, so. Then we have a 3-1 event. Your opponent sends all their stock to the waiting room, then puts an equal number of cards from the top of their stock into their deck. We just straight up get a buns for luck. Okay. Choose one of your reload characters that gains 5k power. Okay. We just straight up get a buns for luck, but it's not level 2, it's level 3, which is a little more understanding. But still, okay. And oh my god, look at this. I'm sorry. That's so cute with the little Koromaru. That is so adorable. Oh my goodness, I love that. I want so many of these SPs, but I know they're gonna be fucking pricey. I did realize I forgot to mention one thing. There's a lot of other events. I know I only showcased 2 events from P4. The P5 ones were mostly like the calling cards that were like thief locked, but there are other ones in there that didn't, that weren't locked. I was just showcasing the 2 that had like gone up in price, from P4. And there's still a lot of other events from P4. It just looks like there's only yellow and blue. No, there's yellow, red, and I think blue in this premium booster. So the green ones don't do anything. Yeah, and we do have blue. Okay. That was a lot of red. Holy shit, I have a lot to go through. But there are plenty of other events, so feel free to look through those events if you make something for P3 Reload and see what other spicy things you could cook up. But no, I love that SP. The 2 choice triggers are the Aegis and the Protag, and it's basically, oh, I love this though. This is basically just the, their little end screens when you end a battle with like an all-out attack or something. I do like how for the Protag one, they did an alternate art. That is actually really fucking cool. And then you got like an SP version of it, but even that version, I kind of want a copy of it. That looks sick. Wow. Okay, cool. Now, I didn't even notice that the first time I was kind of glancing through the cards and everything. So, all right. Sorry, just getting situated here. And we're going to continue. We have Amada, was it Ken? Yeah, Ken was the name. And Nemesis. So we have 00500. When this is placed on stage from hand, search your deck for a specific Koromaru and Cerberus. Put it underneath this card face up as a marker. If you are level 1 or higher, you can discard a character. As an act, you can discard a character to... Oh, it's like the turtle and maple from Bofuri. You get to have this in like the back row or something. Discard a character, summon the Koromaru from underneath it. It comes out, does its attack, and then swoops back under the Amada as a marker at the end of the turn. So you just keep like tossing that Koromaru out over and over. And it has a rest to give a character 1,000 power. Junpei, more like Stupet. No, kidding. Also, I like this pose. Like he's like, bro, I'm practicing for dancing all night. So, man. All right, 001K. When a climax is placed in your climax area, choose a character, gains 1,000. Okay. When you level up, place all markers underneath this to waiting room. Okay. Rest it. Oh, okay, so you rest this, look at the top card of your deck, place it underneath this card face down as a marker. Choose one of your characters, it gets X power. X is equal to the number of markers underneath this card times 1,000. So he's just meant there to try to buff, and you might be able to get like maybe 1 or 2k buff over the course of like a level, assuming you don't like immediately level up each turn. But as soon as you level, those markers are gone, so it's okay. It's okay. I mean, I see the application and everything, but I just don't care for it. We got Akihiko. I've been waiting for this. So 001k. If you're level 3 or higher, this has an act ability to sack itself to summon the level, I'm assuming level 3 Akihiko, or well, this has to be level 3 or higher, so obviously. The level 3 Akihiko from hand, and then it has a continuous, all your reload characters get 500, so global 500. We have the C's Ken Armada. I was going to say Armada, and I'm like, that's not it. On play, pitch a climax to salvage. Okay, pretty good. Chidori, on play, choose one of your opponent's front row characters, gets minus 500. Act, pay 1, send this to memory, look at up to 3 cards from the top of your deck, choose a reload character amongst them, add to hand, the rest go to waiting room, okay? If I see something that stands out, I will talk about it, but for the most part, I'm just trying to get through as many of these cards as possible, because we are pressed for time. 0015, Justice Ken. When this is placed on stage from hand, pay 1, put the top card of your deck into your clock. If you do, salvage back a reload. And then when this is placed on stage from hand, you can pay 2 to choose one of your opponent's characters, return it to hand. So more removal for your opponent's stuff. Pretty nice, pretty nice. So that has like 2 different uses. We have a Shinjiro Brainstormer. It's to be spammable. It's act, rest this, give a character 1k. Brainstorm, pay 1, mill 4 for each climax. Resolve the following action. Salvage back a reload character and then discard 1 card. Okay. Hierophant Shinjiro. So level 0. When this is reversed, if the battle opponent is 0 or lower, you may reverse that character. When this is sent from stage to waiting room, you can pay 2. If you do, choose a reload character from waiting room, add it to hand. Okay. Akihiko, and I don't know if I can pronounce that correctly. I've heard it said in the game so many times, but I'm gonna like fuck it up if I say it. So during your turn, this gets 1k, so it'll be a 3k. When this is sent from stage to waiting room, look at up to 3 cards from the top of your deck. Choose 1 climax amongst those, add it to hand. If you did add a card, discard 1 card. Okay. Member number 8, Koromaru. This isn't the one. It was Koromaru and Cerberus. Okay, so this is the one that that is summoned by the Ken over and over. Okay, cool. So member number 8, Koromaru, is when this is placed on stage from hand. Mill 2, it gets 1,000 times the number of reload characters milled. And on play, pay 1, pitch 1. If you do, salvage back a reload. There's a lot of salvaging effects already. Then choose a reload character, gets 1,000. We've seen this effect on a lot of other cards. I also think this is like a mirror copy. There was like a Saya or something from Bang Dream. I think it's like mirror copy of that card. Seize Koromaru. It's a 25. It can't side attack, but at the start of your opponent's attack phase, you may move this to an empty front row slot. So free runner Koromaru, good doggo, deserves all the head pats. Okay, Ken coming out here with a vengeance. 1k backup, but when you use this card's backup at level 1, by the way, you can discard 2 cards to choose one of your opponent's characters with a level higher than your opponent's level, send it to the waiting room. So, anti-change Ken. Okay, interesting. We have a Junpei with a climax combo. It's a 1045. On play, if you have another reload, this gains 2k power for the turn, so it'll be a 65. On attack, if you have the door climax, so 75. If you have 2 or more other reload characters, mill 2, choose up to 1 level X or lower character, reload character. From your waiting room, add it to hand. X is equal to the level of the sum of the levels milled by this effect. If you added back a 2 or higher, this gets +1 soul. Interesting. So the Koromaru that gets... So this is not a bad effect. I just... like I said, my sinuses are kicking my ass right now. So 105k. On attack, choose one of your other reload characters. I would have thought it would give it to itself, since you're doing all the shenanigans to like make it duck in and out, like a kind of hit and run tactics. I did not mean to make that move. So you can give another character a buff equal to 500 times the number of your other reload characters, so it can give 2k. So, not really worth it for the hit and run tactics, in my opinion. The turtle one was a bit better from Bofuri. We have a 1/1 Shinjiro. When this is placed on stage from hand, choose one of your opponent's characters. Until the end of your opponent's next turn, it gains the ability that it can't move to other slots or return to hand. Interesting. As well as a memory kick reverser. Memory kick anti-change. Interesting. Okay, so a lot of anti-change hate already. We have Jin, shoutouts to Callie, as a 1/1/6k. When your other reload characters attack, this gets X power. X is equal to the number of your other reload characters times 500. Oh, so he can get pretty big. So if you have a full field and he's like the last one to attack, he'll get that buff twice. So he'll be like a 10k and he has a character encore. Okay, so actually he can get pretty big. All right. We have a Shinjiro and Castor reload. It's a 3k backup, but part of the cost is sending this to memory, and it's a memory kick all in one. I understand why lore-wise, but really, Bushi, did you have to? Spoilers. 2/1/3k Akihiko. During your turn, this gets 10k power. Okay. And when the card's level 2 or higher battle opponent is reversed, you can put the top card of your deck into your stock. It's a 13k for no reason? Okay, it's gonna die. But that's hilarious. Okay. We have a Magician Junpei. It's a 2/1/45. If you have the Chidori in memory, this gains 45 constant, making him a 9k. When this attacks, it gets 1,000 times the number of your other reloads. So 4k on top of it. So he could also become 13k. What is with all these characters just getting egregious numbers here? On top of, you have like all these assist effects. Strength Kodomaru is a 2k assist in front for your level 3 or higher. When your opponent uses a brainstorm effect, if a climax is sent to the waiting room by that effect, choose a character, it gets 2k. Now the way this is worded, I think it's just as long as a climax gets sent, it's not that you give 2k per climax sent. It's just as long as there is one, you get to do the effect one time. Per brainstorm, sure, but not per climax sent off of one singular brainstorm. So I'm assuming that's how that works. All right, so this is the C's Akihiko. I think it was the one that was the, could be early played by the level 0. I said, no, it wasn't even early play. It'd just be summoned for like free. So it's a 3/2/9/5. When this is placed on stage from hand, you may put one card from the top of your clock to waiting room. If you have 4 or more other reload characters, you may send it to stock instead. Okay, so I see where that other Akihiko comes into play. So that you can have a full field, sack it, then summon one of these, do that effect. Sack another, do this same effect, and do this and summon this and do that same effect. It's just the fact of being able to make certain that you have a full field. It's hard to show without like playing a field or something on screen. So I'm just trust me on this. I understand why the level 0 summons the way that it does. So on attack, if you have the door climax and all of your characters are reload. So once again, kind of reload locked in that regard, but still, you get to pay 1 pitch 2, burn your opponent for 3. All level 1 or higher cards revealed by this damage is placed in clock in the order they are revealed, even if the damage is canceled. Oh, my jaw dropped. I've seen this type of effect before, but it's rare. It doesn't happen that often. Go Akihiko with one of the busted effects here, man. So the way this is worded, you burn for 3. Okay, so that's only off of this 3 damage. It's not off of like his own soul damage as well, but off of the burn 3. If you go 1, 2, cancel on 3, if the first 1 and 2 there is level 1 or higher, they get sent to clock regardless, and you still take that damage. Like if you reveal like two level 2s or something, and then you would reveal a climax, those go to your clock regardless. The climax goes to your waiting room. But everything, like, you can get damage to stick very nicely with that. I mean, if your opponent goes like 0-0 climax, yeah, you did absolutely nothing. But still, like, that's actually crazy. I'm trying to think. So but if the top card is a climax, it just cancels and doesn't continue from there. It's not like you still reveal 3, even if the first card is a climax. It's whenever the climax would stop. It's whenever the cancel would occur. So the best optimal situation is you go 1-2 climax, so that you still get to do some damage and then still knock a climax out of their deck. But if you reveal a climax on like the first or the second instance of the burn, or the second number of the deal 3, then it's not as effective. So, high risk, high reward, but it's still a really cool effect. All right, we have Moist Critical, 3/2, 10k. Heal 1 on play, and on attack, pay 3, pitch 2, burn 2 to your opponent, and then choose a card in their waiting room, place it on top of their deck. That is a hefty fucking cost right there. For not a lot. That's just me. I don't care for that as much, but that's whatever. I mean, that's still crazy. But the pose, though. Let's see. 3/2, 10,500, Junpei and Hermes. We have on play. Oh, this is interesting. It's any of them. When this is placed on stage from hand, you can pay 1 to salvage back any climax in waiting room, so that's kind of cool. On attack, pay 1, pitch 1. If you do this, gains 2k power to the end of turn, and when this card's battle opponent becomes reversed, you can burn 1. So, it's on attack, you get to do it, but it's still a reverse burn, so the first effect is amazing. Like, that's really cool. So, you could still splash this in and use it, like, very effectively. So, the Junpei salvage and the Akihiko salvage. Then we get into blue with Yukari and Mitsuru is the main ones, and Mitsuru is my favorite, guys. I know I've said it before, but damn. Anyway, 0-0 sees Yukari. At the start of your opponent's attack phase, you can mill 1 if that card is a reload. You can move this to an empty slot in your front row. Yeah. Mill runners, do they help you cancel? Wrong answers only. Alarm, if this card is in the top of your clock, you have 4 or more reload characters at the start of your climax phase, you can draw 2 and then pitch 2. I'm assuming that probably has some kind of application. So, Mitsuru and Pent. We have a 0-0-1k. When this is placed on stage from hand, choose one of your opponent's back row characters whose level is higher than your opponent's level, and it does not stand during your opponent's next stand phase. So, very interesting. Stand, was that a JoJo's reference? Anyway, when this is placed on stage from hand, you can discard a card. If you do, reveal the top card of your deck. Choose 1 level X or lower reload character from your waiting room. X is equal to the level of the revealed card. So this is a good card in general, plus the standby hate as well, just really good. We have an Empress Mitsuru. Yes, she is. It's a 0-0-2k. When your other reload character attacks, it gets 1k, and when your other reload character gets frontaled, you can pay 1 and sack this to return the character that got frontaled back to your hand. Okay. We have Fuka and Lucia. I think that's how you pronounce that. When a climax is placed into your climax area, look at the 2 cards from the top of your deck, put them back on top in any order. So that might matter for some stuff coming up. Brainstorm, pay 1, rest this, mill 4 for each climax, salvage back a reload. So, do we have a search? We've had like 2 other brainstormers. Anyway, we have Love Yukari. Okay, so this is the climax swapper. So pay 1, pitch a climax to salvage back a climax. So this is gonna be very standard in like any of the decks. High Priestess Fuka on play. Choose one of your other reload characters. It gains 2k. And on attack, this turn, all of your characters gain the... Oh, okay, it's like that. On attack, give all of your characters the same ability, which is when this card's trigger check reveals a climax, you can discard a climax to choose 1 reload character from your waiting room and add it to hand. So this is very good in like an 8 pants build, because you're just gonna be able to trigger the pants, grab a climax back, and then just immediately discard that climax to salvage something and salvage back a character instead. So very nice there. Yeah, we have a level 1 Mitsuru combo. So 1-0-45. If you have 2 or more other reload characters, this gains 1k, so it should be a 55. On attack, if you have the pants, so it should be a 65. you have another reload character. Look at up to 4 cards from the top of your deck. Choose one reload character from amongst them. Show it to your opponent, add it to your hand, send the rest to waiting room. So very classic, like Amelia and or Yukina-esque effect of just do the top 4 check. So still very good. Just it's not like we haven't seen it before. But I'm going to be picking up copies of this regardless. 217K. We have a Fuka. When this attacks, if the level of the character across from it is 3 or higher, this gets 6K. That's also exactly 13. It's because of the... Oh. Because the 13th Arcana. That makes sense. I just realized... I'm like, why are all of these numbers hitting exactly 13,000? Oh. That makes sense. Okay. Look it up. Anyway, character encore. Character encore as well. So, Seize Mitsuru is a 21.8K. When this is placed on stage from hand, if you have 6 or less cards in your deck, you can just shuffle all cards from waiting room into your deck. So, free refresh. Nice. Mitsuru, she's best girl for a reason. All right, we have a level 3 Seize Fuka. It's a 2K assist in front. On play, you can discard a card to put the top card of your clock into your stock. Very nice. And an act to rest her. Look at the 2 cards from the top of your deck and put them back in any order. Very nice. 3/2 Yukari and EO reload. That's her. That's the evolved one? I can't remember if that's the evolved version or not. If you have 4 or more reload characters, this gets -1 level in hand. So very nice. And for each of your opponent's back row, this gets 1,000. So if they have 2, she's a 10-5. When this is placed on stage from hand, you can discard a card to put the top card of your clock into stock. So we have multiple early play healers. Very nice. We have a level 3 member number 4, Yukari. Is a 3/2 11,000, so she's oversized. When this attacks, if you have the other pants trigger, so she'll be a 12, and all of your characters are reload. Discard 2 cards. If you do, deal either 2 damage or 4 damage. Then choose up to 1 card in your opponent's waiting room, place it on top of their deck, and until the end of your opponent's next turn, this gains an extra 3,000 power. So not counting like a Fuka or anything, this is going to be a 14,000 for a turn. But you get the option of either burn 2 or burn 4. Interesting. I like being given the choice there. That's very nice. Then we have Long Nose Igor himself, which I guess it doesn't matter because we do have a rest counter. Oh, it's literally that. Okay. Interesting. Okay, so it's a level 2, 3 cost backup event. Your opponent may return one of your characters to hand. Choose one of your opponent's characters, rest it. Okay, so this is exactly like the Margaret. This is literally just the Margaret. It just depends if you want to run creepy looking Igor or if you want to run Margaret. It's like the same thing. It might have been, I think it was also a level 2 still. It's either level 2 or level 3, future me, if you want to show stuff. But you do have another rest counter in general. It's a 2/4 blue, just 4 cost, choose an opponent's character, rest it. So having stuff that would let you generate extra stock, like all the stock healers and everything, is kind of major for stuff like this to just be like, no, you do not get to do that. And then also the SP for that is very nice. We'll check that out in a second. The last 2 are the climaxes for the Mitsuru and the Yukari. Look at that shit. That looks so good. Yeah, especially once it refreshes there. That looks so nice. Okay. We're just gonna end it on this one in particular. No, okay, so my overall thoughts. There's a lot of generic good stuffs in here. I haven't tried to sit down to put together a deck on like the simulator or anything to like test it out truly, but I'm liking it. One, I'm gonna be picking up the cards regardless. That doesn't matter. It's Persona 3. I'm gonna pick shit up. So, premium booster box opening incoming whenever they finally come in. But I definitely want this. I definitely want like any cards, any SPs that I could pull. They all look sick as hell. I just don't like the premium booster setup. It's like with the extra boosters. It's a glorified extra booster where you have like certain cards come in both rarities of like foil and non-foil. I don't care for that. I just want just the one rarity, unless I get like really nice cards, and then I'll keep the foils for myself, obviously. But for running in a deck, I just want the normal rarity. Oh man. Oh, this is so cool. This looks so nice. Anyway, I could stare at that or like the Mitsuru one like just all day. It's like so good. But overall impressions of the set. It's got some interesting cards, yes, but it has a lot of just like generic, like in the year of our Lord 2025, these are just accepted good effects. Some of them are a little underwhelming because of like having to reverse to do the burn and stuff like that, but I should be able to make a good coherent deck off of this and still like be able to do something with it. I just want to have it just to have, to be completely honest. Do I think the deck is going to make waves? I can't say for certain. The Yukari finisher does look good in terms of being able to choose whether you try to really push for some damage or just like poke for 2. It's just costing you hand size, which is whatever. But even then, like say the Pro Tag level 3 is really good. I can see the Pro Tag like an 8 choice build being like the build to go with. Or like some kind of mix. The red is good support, but I can't see, like even with the Akihiko, it's kind of like up in the air as to whether that's going to be like a good effect or not. On paper, it can be. In application, it depends. So we shall see. But that is going to be it for us today. I like the set. I want it. I'm ready for it. Just my body is ready, Bushi. Give it to me. But that is going to be it for today. Thank y'all very much for watching. It is greatly appreciated. Feel free to like, subscribe, comment down below what cards you're waiting for in Persona 3. That would be really cool. If you have a particular favorite social link from any of the Personas, Confidants if you're a P5 enthusiast. If you have any particular social links, let me know your favorite social link down below. Whether that's a favorite best guy or best girl, doesn't matter. And feel free to join the Discord. I almost forgot about plugging the Discord. Link for that will also be in the description if you want to join the Discord, especially for when the Persona 3 stuff happens. Oh boy. But that is going to be it. We will see y'all on the flip side. Stay based.